10 minutes later, Deep K Kong finally finished the simple assault boat. He had used a truck, its tires, and an engine to make the boat. The boat could only carry more than 10 people. At this point, Bian Junyu had already assigned the list of people from the investigation team who needed to leave. In addition, there was Chiao Hong Luyen, Rothan Din, and 2 mutant captains, along with their subordinates. After hearing Bian Junyu's allocation, everyone nodded in agreement. Understood. Once everything was ready, Bai Li Chongqing carried the assault boat to the main gate. Bian Junyu shouted, "To the external forces outside, we are about to charge out. Be ready to support us." Those on the outside quickly responded. "Got it. You go ahead." Once everything was set, Tiao Hong Luyen pressed the button to open the heavy metal door of the shelter, saying, "The door is open." As soon as the door began to open with a rumbling sound, a wave of hot air rushed inside. Even though they were wearing heat-resistant clothing, they still felt the scorching heat. There was no other choice. The entire refinery was engulfed in flames, surrounded by seawater. However, the only good news was that the surrounding zombies had also been wiped out. Bai Li Changqing dragged the assault boat into the water, and more than 10 people quickly jumped aboard. Time did not allow them to delay. Dep K Kong, who had assembled the boat himself, would operate it. The engine started, the underwater propeller spun quickly, and the boat sped toward the opposite shore. The area surrounding the Duongtin base had now turned into a vast sea, with a distance of 7 to 8 kilometers of boiling hot water all around. Some areas even had bubbles of boiling water rising to the surface. As the assault boat left the vicinity of Duongtin base, the bronze-armored flying zombies, which had been waiting in the sky, started diving down with terrifying screeches. A loud noise rang out from afar as one of the bronze-armored flying zombies fell from the sky, as if struck by a sledgehammer. It had been shot down by the people on the boat. From a high vantage point, Zhang Yi calmly reloaded his sniper rifle and continued targeting the flying zombies. On the assault boat, it wasn't just Zhang Yi firing, everyone aboard was retaliating. Each person was a powerful mutant, so dealing with a few bronze-armored flying zombies wasn't difficult. However, crowded together on one boat, it was indeed hard for them to fully utilize their abilities. Zhang Yi, holding his rifle, carefully took out the flying zombies approaching the boat. But even with specialized weapons, it was difficult to deal real damage to these bronze-armored creatures. Wu Di, not wanting Zhang Yi to take all the glory, also began sniping at the bronze-armored flying zombies. However, he wasn't a spatial-type mutant, so he couldn't handle the recoil from the sniper rifle. After Wu Di fired, the entire boat started shaking. Bai Li Changqing quickly stopped him. "Don't use the sniper rifle. It's not convenient on the boat." Wu Di, feeling frustrated, could only toss the gun aside, grumbling, "Such a hassle." In the sky, more than 100 bronze-armored flying zombies were zooming around at incredible speeds. Except for Zhang Yi, who could snipe them with his powers, the other mutants couldn't fully exert their abilities. After all, they were on the water, and at best, they could use only about 50% of their power. But a greater problem loomed. As they focused on fighting the enemies in the sky, large waves began to rise around the boat. The assault boat suddenly slowed down, as if encountering enormous resistance, like a small boat getting caught in a forest of seaweed, struggling to move forward. Deep K Kong seemed to realize something. He peeked his head out of the boat to observe. In an instant, a zombie leaped out of the water toward him, baring its sharp teeth. Standing at the bow of the boat, Mantu Vu was also attacked. Startled, she reacted quickly, falling back onto the boat just in time. Qi Kwangmin swiftly smashed the heads of the attacking zombies. Mantu Vu pointed into the water, shouting in terror, "There are zombies under the water." The expressions of everyone grew grim as they hurriedly looked down into the water. What they saw made their hearts race. It turned out that many zombies had been submerged in the water, but they weren't dead. In fact, they were in a dormant state under the water. Now, as the assault boat appeared, the zombies instinctively chased after it, clinging to the sides of the boat. One after another, they climbed up. No wonder the boat had encountered such massive resistance. Deep K Kong gritted his teeth and decided to increase the engine's power. The propeller spun faster, creating a sharp rattling sound as it shredded the zombies behind the boat. But even more zombies awaited them in the water ahead. As the boat approached the shore, they could see the land on the other side, but a new challenge emerged. Outside the perimeter of Duomtin Base, hundreds of thousands of zombies were waiting for them, their eyes fixed on the approaching boat. Among them were at least 200 powerful bronze-armored zombies. At this moment, Zhang Yi, Xingtian, Wei Dinghai, and the others were also busy killing zombies, drawing their attention. The zombies on land couldn't immediately attack the investigation team in the water. However, they weren't going to let those on the shore go unchallenged. Driven by pure instinct and hunger, the zombies attacked anyone they detected alive. Wu Di gritted his teeth and raised his right hand. A massive ball of light began to form in his palm. He muttered to himself, "We've got no choice but to go all out." Around his body, dozens of large orbs of light appeared. Witnessing this, all the investigation team members' expressions changed. The sunburst was indeed a powerful ability, but it had a significant drawback. It not only drained mutant energy but also consumed physical and mental strength. Overuse could cause irreparable damage to the body, and Wu Di might eventually become nothing more than an empty shell. That was why Bian Junyu took special care of Wu Di, trying to prevent him from self-destructing and limiting his use of this ability. Seeing Wu Di about to go all out, Bian Junyu immediately placed a hand on his shoulder. "Withdraw your sunburst. Now's not the time for this." Wu Di froze, then suddenly became furious. He shouted, "With such a massive horde of zombies, if I don't use my powers to clear a path, how will we survive? Don't tell me you plan to sacrifice yourself to pave the way for us." In the investigation team, Bian Junyu's and Wu Di's abilities were quite similar. Both possessed powers capable of causing widespread destruction, but every time they used their abilities, it came at the cost of their health. It was a fair trade-off. To gain superhuman strength, they had to accept significant limitations. In this situation, Wu Di wanted to use his powers because he didn't want Bian Junyu to step in. Bian Junyu's condition was critical, and every time he used his powers, his lifespan shortened. Therefore, when Bian Junyu stopped him, Wu Di became furious. He didn't want Bian Junyu to die right before his eyes. Bian Junyu's voice was low and calm. "I'm the captain. It's not your turn to play the hero here." Beneath the water, zombies were swarming toward the boat. The scene was strange, like tossing bait into a pond and watching the fish gather at one point. The assault boat was at the center of this swarm. If they didn't reach the shore quickly, the horde would capsize the boat, no matter how strong they were. After all, they weren't fish, and once submerged, no matter how powerful their mutant abilities, they couldn't be used. However, on land, tens of thousands of zombies were waiting for them too. Neither path would be easy. Bian Junyu adjusted his sunglasses, knowing exactly what he had to do. Bai Li Changqing advised the leader, "Don't be hasty. Can't you see the scale of these zombies? Even with your abilities, you won't be able to create an escape route quickly. Moreover, it's clear that the zombies ahead are even more dangerous than the ones we've encountered. Even if you use Oblivion, you can't just carve out a path to safety in an instant." Bian Junyu lowered his hands, his face cold and somber. Bai Li Changqing was right. Bian Junyu's abilities were indeed powerful, but he was still only a Delta-level mutant, unable to create miracles. His strength could reach the level of an Epsilon, but using it had limitations and severe side effects. Otherwise, with the ability to fire over a dozen continuous shots or unleash a power more than tenfold, he could definitely create an escape route from this horde of hundreds of thousands of zombies. Bian Junyu remained silent as Vice Captain Bai Li Changqing spoke up. "Anyway, we have to get to shore first. Everyone knows staying in the water isn't to our advantage." Immediately, the group drew their weapons and shot down the zombies in the water. Luckily, the underwater zombies moved slowly and did not capsize the boat. The external forces in communication with Bian Junyu were aware of their situation. Wei Dinghai and Xingtian were also helpless, as they were surrounded by hordes of zombies, unable to assist. Zheng Daxian, feeling anxious, knew the zombies weren't under his control. To regain control, he needed to return to the headquarters of the Baishui sect and use the Bloodvine to command the Zombie King. But by now, it was too late. If the investigation team were to perish here, it wasn't the outcome he desired. He mumbled curses under his breath. Damn it, such a mess. Couldn't you just finish off the zombie horde and return? Why stay here and cause trouble? This is all your fault. Zheng Daqian's face remained calm, but inside he was extremely uneasy. With no solution, he could only order his subordinates to ensure the safety of the team leader, at the very least. His subordinates responded in unison. Understood. Over 100 mutants from the Baishui sect fought their hardest, attempting to carve a path through the zombie horde and reach Bianjunyu's group. However, this was incredibly difficult. Regular zombies were manageable, but among them were hundreds of bronze-armored corpses. Even for an average mutant, fighting one-on-one with these creatures was nearly impossible. Due to Zheng Daqian's overly enthusiastic efforts, 5 of his priests were torn apart by the bronze-armored corpses. Zheng Daqian's cold gaze showed no concern for their deaths. He muttered, "Useless fools. At least after you die, your abilities can return to the blood abyss. Otherwise, it would be a real waste of your powers." Zhang Yi ordered everyone into the vehicle to play a game, surprising everyone. At that moment, Uncle Viu drove the snow vehicle, playing a game of cat and mouse with the zombie horde chasing them. Behind them, tens of thousands of zombies filled the snowy plains, howling and running. However, without brains, they were nothing more than flesh. How could 2 legs ever catch up to a 4-wheeled vehicle, especially on snow? Zhang Yi and 2 others leaned out of the windows, assassinating the pursuing zombies. Biao and Lian Yue used grenades, blowing up zombies that didn't even try to dodge, quickly turning them into pieces. Zhang Yi focused on sniping bronze-armored corpses and flying zombies with his heavy sniper rifle. Seeing the mindless behavior of the zombie horde, a smile crept onto his face. Compared to before, these zombies are even more ferocious, but also dumber. He realized that after losing control from the Baishui sect, the zombies had reverted to their primal state. However, given the current situation, what would their end be? When Zhang Yi spoke of them, he was referring to Yuan Kalnia and Zheng Daqian. They couldn't just watch the investigation team die. Zhang Yi wasn't sure how they controlled the zombies, but he was confident they would find a way to eliminate the horde. In reality, Zhang Yi's guess was wrong. Yuan Kalnia and Zheng Daqian did have a way to control the zombies, but it was too late to use it now. Thus, the situation was far more complicated than Zhang Yi had anticipated. Of course, it wasn't his fault, as he lacked the necessary information. On the lake, the group exerted all their strength to barely escape the pursuing water zombies and approach the shore, but no one dared to relax, as a massive, terrifying number of zombies awaited them. Giant bronze-armored corpses, each one glaring with menacing fangs, growled ominously. Zheng Daqian, seeing this from a distance, was extremely worried. There's no time left. Suddenly, he flew into the air, quickly heading toward the assault boat. Before long, he arrived, and everyone on the boat was in awe of his flying ability. With the power to control primordial energy, Zheng Daqian had achieved the ability to fly by manipulating his body. Tiao Honglian asked, "Why did you come alone?" Zheng Daqian stared at Bianjunyu and said, "The horde outside is too large, we can't break through it. Mr. Bian, I'll take you away first. No matter what, you must prevent the destruction of the Jiangnan region by the Tianhai city zombies." Zheng Daqian had completely lost control of the situation. In fact, they were unable to fully control the zombie horde, and couldn't command them at will. In this dangerous situation, even the smallest mistake could lead to his death. In a desperate move, he decided to take Bianjunyu with him. He believed that, as long as Bianjunyu survived, the situation could still be salvaged. Bianjunyu immediately understood Zheng Daqian's intentions. "You think saving just me will solve this problem? Don't be naive," Bianjunyu shouted. "The Jiangnan region has lost patience with the zombie problem in Tianhai City. If we can't eliminate this horde within 24 hours, everyone will die here."